Harry and Meghan are stepping up in a moment where millions of American families are struggling to put food on the table. Through their Archewell Foundation, they've launched a major initiative to support communities facing food insecurity after cuts to SNAP benefits left many without enough food to eat. Their donations are helping fund 6 key organizations across the United States, each one on the front lines of hunger relief. That includes Food Forward, which rescues surplus produce from farms and delivers it directly to local food banks. Farm to People, which distributes fresh groceries to low-income families. And Our Big Kitchen LA, which provides free, freshly prepared meals for those in need. They're also supporting the Food Bank of Santa Barbara County, Project Angel Food, Lift, and Propel, programs that provide emergency cash relief, meal deliveries, and grocery assistance to families hit hardest with rising food costs. At a time when government programs are being slashed, Harry and Meghan are filling the gaps, quietly and compassionately. They're using their platform not for optics, but for outcomes. Archewell's approach is simple. Get help to families fast, restore dignity, and remind the world that no one should go hungry in one of the wealthiest nations on earth.
Hello, it's Smiley here. So if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to our amazing community. A moment when millions of families across the United States and around the world are struggling to put food on the table. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are refusing to remain passive observers. Through their non-profit organisation, the Archewell Foundation, they are stepping into the ring of public service, supporting food banks, meal programs and cash relief for those hit hardest by policy shifts, such as the reductions in the Federal Food Aid Program, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP. Meanwhile, many of their tormentors remain firmly planted on the sidelines, content to throw insults and airs rather than roll up their sleeves and do something. From their earliest philanthropic announcements, the Sussexes have emphasized that food is not merely sustenance, but dignity, stability, and care. In a recent update on their website, Archewell emphasized that food is more than sustenance, it is dignity, stability, and care for one another. They acknowledged how deeply food insecurity is impacting communities and announced emergency donations to local partners delivering meals and groceries to families in need. Among their recipients, the Food Bank of Santa Barbara County, delivering groceries across California's Central Coast, Our Big Kitchen LA, preparing freshly cooked meals, and Project Angel Food, which provides grocery gift cards to clients impacted by SNAP cuts. Their efforts are neither idle lights nor photo ops. Back in 2020, the Archewell Foundation partnered with the renowned chef and humanitarian Jose Andres' organization, World Central Kitchen, WCK, to build 4 community relief centers around the world. These centers are designed to function as emergency service kitchens in times of crisis, natural disasters, pandemics, and to transition in calmer times into hubs for food distribution, community gathering, schooling, and clinics. For instance, one of the first relief centers was already underway in the Caribbean island of Dominica, which had been devastated by hurricanes. By aligning with organizations that specialize in food relief, the couple isn't simply lending their names, they're funding and participating in long-term infrastructure that addresses hunger and food insecurity. They recognize that when the SNAP program is cut, the consequences are immediate. Families must choose between food, rent, and childcare. Their intervention is responsive, emergency relief and cash support for those impacted. In contrast, many of the critics and trolls on social media are content to unleash negativity, calling names, spreading rumors, posting memes, without lifting a finger to help. Words alone don't feed the hungry, and while debate and criticism have their place in a democratic society, what truly matters is tangible impact. Harry and Meghan are showing up in communities, partnering with experts, providing resources. They are doing more than talking, they are acting. Of course, no initiative is free from scrutiny. Some critics have pointed to administrative paperwork issues with Archewell's registration status in California and have questioned the scale of its grants. But even with imperfections, the central fact remains. There are families today receiving meals, groceries, cash relief because of work the Sussexes are supporting. That kind of outcome matters far more than anonymous criticism. When someone is facing hunger, what they need is not a snarky tweet, but a meal, a voucher, an act of care. By focusing on food insecurity, supporting food banks, directing funds where they are needed, Harry and Meghan are transforming their public profile into purpose. They are working the talk rather than simply talking, and that matters. It is easy to sit behind a screen, hurling criticisms, making cynical jokes, engaging in hater culture. But when one has the means, the platform, and the values to make a difference, and actually chooses to do so, that elevates the conversation. The Sussexes are harnessing their visibility to highlight hunger, raise funds, deploy resources, and partner with frontline practitioners. Meanwhile, their trolls remain in the cheap seats. In a world filled with grand statements and empty promises, real action is rare. Real action is showing up in food banks, handing out groceries, writing checks to relief partners, designing support systems, acknowledging dignity for every individual who struggles to eat. That is the path the Archewell Foundation is taking under Harry and Meghan's leadership. They are stepping out of the royal box and into service, proving that when you have privilege, you might choose to use it to feed families rather than simply raise headlines. Words may carry weight, but meals carry hope. And in the fight against hunger, hope must be served hot, not just spoken aloud.